What's up, guys? Today we have some good news and some bad news regarding Brad Grundy. Pradeep reveals himself to be clueless regarding the Kingsmove rules, and Reno Masic doesn't seem too confident about his chances against Devin Larratt. We've also got some more cope coming out of Giannis Amolins regarding the whole Kingsmove debacle. Okay, first off, let's talk about Brad Grundy. So we'll go with the good news first. The good news is that on a recent podcast with Todd Hutchings and Irakli Zerkashvili, they were going over predictions for the upcoming matches at East vs. West 16. And regarding Brad Grundy versus Batcho Saganashvili, Todd Hutchings had this to say when talking about Brad. He said that he couldn't move him. He couldn't do anything to him. They must have had a practice pull at some point. I have not seen the practice footage. I don't even know if there is any, but apparently they pulled. And Brad actually confirmed this when he did a live stream with Henry Naring, and he was pretty humble about it. He basically said, "Oh, it was an off the couch Todd Hutchings. He wasn't all prepped for a match or anything." But to me, this is still really impressive, and this is great news for Brad Grundy fans. This is great news for fans of North American arm wrestling. We need some up-and-comers. All of our guys are 50 years old, and all the guys from the East are, in their 20s and 30s. We need some good up-and-comers. Brad Grundy is showing promise, and this is really good news to hear, that essentially Todd Hutchings could not move Brad Grundy. So if Brad's got the hand control and also the side pressure to keep Todd from working, that's really impressive, because Irakli, he is extremely strong. He did not have the side pressure to be able to keep Todd from blasting through him. So this is very good news. And guys, I don't know if Brad has a nickname yet, but it just had me thinking about Todd just going for a surge and just hitting a wall. What do you say to this, guys? Brick Wall Brad Grundy. What do you think? Brick Wall Brad Grundy. I think it's pretty good. I don't know. Let me know if you have a better one. Brick Wall Brad Grundy. He's got the fundamentals. He's got the grundamentals, dude. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I think it's pretty good. But anyways, let's get to the bad news. Guys, Brad Grundy's match with Batcho is at 231 pounds. Give me a quick guess at what he weighs right now. He just uploaded a video. He weighs 270 pounds. Oh boy. So he's in the video, he's walking, he's going for a midnight stroll, trying to work off some of the pounds. And this guy likes to eat. I can't blame him. I like to have a little bit of biscuits and gravy now and then as well. Let's just hope that his strength doesn't take a dive in the weeks to come when he starts cutting all this weight. He took a little bit too much advice from Devin, ate too many pancakes. Actually, Brad claims not to be eating the pancakes, if you guys catch my drift. He says he's coming into this clean. He's talked about his pancake usage in the past, and basically it can't coexist with the other things he wants to do in life. So he's coming into this match clean. Whether you believe that or not is up to you. Regardless, he is weighing in at 270 pounds. So that is the bad news. We really need to get our boy down in weight. He needs to keep walking, going on the midnight strolls. Keep it up, Brad. All of our stock is in you right now. All right, I'm going off the rails a little bit, but the whole Todd Hutchings thing had me hyped. I'll tell you, when I heard Todd talking about him, saying that he got stonewalled by Brad, listen, that got me all hyped up on hopium, all right? So I hope you guys are excited about that, as I am. Maybe Todd was being nice, or hopefully Brad was just being humble when he said that Todd was off season. I don't know. I think Brad's selling himself a little short. We've seen what this guy can do. Anyways, tell me what you guys think of the nickname. I think it's pretty good. But you know what? If you have a better one, put it in the comments. All right? I'd like to see them. All right, moving on. I guess we can do Pradeep first, and then we'll get to Giannis next. So Pradeep has chimed into this whole Kingsmove debate. It's probably getting old by now, but I don't mind talking about it. So Pradeep posted a question in his community tab, And it basically asked, if you can't have your humerus bone in a declined position when you're losing, why then can you have it in a declined position when you're winning? If you go to the comments section, Pradeep just gets absolutely flamed. And then he actually made a video addressing the question that he asked. And in some of the comments that he shows, the answer to his question is right there. When you are in a winning position, say a top roller is in a winning position, he's in a declined angle, he's kind of under the table, he's still hanging off of his bicep. He is in a position that requires his bicep or brachialis to be flexed. His elbow flexors are working, his wrist flexors are working. If you are in a bone lock position, which I think most open top rollers aren't, but say that you are in an open bone lock position, the reason people don't like that is because they believe you are no longer using your contractile tissue. It is now just an armbar. You can't win a match with an armbar though. When you are in a winning position, you are using your elbow flexors. And so I'm not sure how Pradeep doesn't know this. It seems very obvious. I'm not a pro arm wrestler. I'm not even close, but this just seems like a fairly obvious point. I know that the rule about the humerus bone was put into effect under the guise of it being a dangerous position, but really what it was meant to prevent is a bone lock. Because if you are allowed to go under the table and you get a minute or so into your match, you're both gassing out. At that point, if one of you, I was just at practice last Saturday, and I was pulling with a guy, we're very evenly matched, and it got to the point where we were both really gassed out. And at one point, I found myself kind of in an open position, and I thought, oh man, if I just dropped below the table right now, I could absolutely win this match pretty easily. I chose not to do so because I don't want to practice breaking the rules, because how you practice is how you play. So I didn't do that, but it would have been very easy for me to just drop below the table. Even in a bone lock position, it wouldn't have hurt very bad because we were both so gassed out. So that's what the rule is meant to combat. But you're never going to encounter that kind of thing in an offensive position. You could maybe say that the flop press is a bone lock for some guys. I don't really think that's the case. But Pradeep was specifically asking about the decline position, the decline humerus bone. Yeah, the answer to that is very easy. In an offensive position, you are hanging off of your contractile tissue. It requires a lot of effort. Whereas if you are below the table in a defensive position in a bone lock, you can gas the other guy out and get an unfair advantage. Now, when you hear me say an unfair advantage from a bone lock, you might be tempted to say, well, Michael Todd can get a bone lock even though he doesn't go below the table. And to that, I would just say that might be the case, but there is no good way of enforcing rules that further restrict the Kingsmove. I have yet to see any reasonable proposal regarding the rules. Most of the rule changes that people are suggesting would be almost impossible for refs to enforce accurately on a consistent basis. So if you do believe that Michael's in a bone lock, if you do believe that is cheating, that may be the case, but you have to put forward some kind of rule change that would not be nearly impossible to enforce. All right, with that being said, we'll move on to Giannis. Giannis uploaded a video responding to basically all the hate that he's been getting since he started this Kingsmove drama. And in the video, he says that he has pulled many guys in the past that use the Kingsmove, and he has never had trouble beating them. And Giannis just has this issue where whenever he's trying to make a point, he shoots himself in the foot. And this is exactly what he did here. I mean, can you see the problem? He's saying that the Kingsmove, this open arm position, the arm bar that he has faced in the past, he's saying that that is an unfair position. You get an unfair advantage. It's basically cheating. But then in the same breath, he says, well, I've never had trouble beating it. I know how to beat it. And you will see this reflected in the comments. The comments are just absolutely flaming this guy. And I like Giannis. I think he's a good guy. He's a very good arm wrestler. I think he has good intentions. He wants the sport to remain fair. He wants traditional ways of pulling to be utilized. This whole Kingsmove drama has really dropped his stock a lot, and people are just ruthlessly roasting this guy in the comments. It's fairly entertaining. I don't think Giannis is too bothered by it, but it does seem like he's kind of coping when they upload more videos and try to keep defending their position by making the same points over and over again. I think he just needs to let it go. People clearly don't want to see the rules imposed that he is suggesting, so let's just move on. You said you have no trouble beating the move. You never have. It is beatable. Guys, it's just another technique. It's another technique. He even at one point talks about going under the table. You can't go under the table anymore. There are rules against that. So when people try to make the argument that open top rollers are going under the table, the rules don't allow for that anymore. As long as the refs are enforcing them properly, if you use the Kingsmove, you can't go under the table. All right, let's move on. Henry Naring interviewed Reno Masic, and Reno said one thing that I thought was a little bit delusional. He said that he could beat Jerry Cadorette. Now I know, Jerry Cadorette, he lost to Levon. All of a sudden, he's not one of the best arm wrestlers in the world anymore. He's not a top 5 super heavyweight. All of a sudden, we got Reno saying, I can beat this guy. Let's not forget, Jerry Cadorette beat Alex Kardeccia very convincingly. He beat Gennady Kvikvinia, who has a win over prime Devin Larratt. He beat Georgi Svetkov, who is one of the best top rollers in the world. And I know Jerry's press is a kind of counter to the top roll, but still, Georgi Svetkov is no slouch. The only guys that have recently beat Jerry are Hermes Gasparini, the guy who just gave Levon the most trouble that we've seen in a long time, and then Levon himself. Guys, Jerry is good, and Jerry is fast. Reno was saying, I would basically beat him to the press. I would just press faster and win that way. I'd get into position faster. Reno doesn't have the same kind of side pressure that Jerry does. Jerry doesn't have to be behind his shoulder to press. You see that against Gennady, against Georgi Svetkov. Jerry can pull in that break arm position and apply a lot of side pressure for a long time. His endurance is crazy. This claim by Reno is a little out there. Guys, Jerry is good. I know the top guys from NA are all old heads, but there's a reason they're up there. There's a reason Jerry was challenging Levon for the title. It's because he's very good. He is a master of his craft, and Reno Masic is not beating him. Reno Masic is not the number 3 super heavyweight in the world. So they got on to talking about some other things. Regarding the Devin Larratt match, Reno does not sound very confident. At one point he said that his left arm has a better chance of beating Devin than his right, and that might be because he's got an injury right now, and he talked about that. He said he's doing therapy right now, and he's considering surgery. He's trying to figure out which approach will get him back to arm wrestling at an elite level the fastest. So I wish him a speedy recovery, and surgery is probably the way to go. Just get it fixed and recover that way. If it seems like the therapy is not really doing the trick at the moment, regardless of whatever approach he takes, I do hope that he gets better fast. He's a very entertaining guy. He's a great puller. Obviously, he's the champ right now. I hope you guys know that I am a fan of arm wrestling. I am a fan of arm wrestlers. I'm a fan of arm wrestling media. So whenever I criticize these guys, it's all in good fun. I'm just trying to get the community to interact with each other and engage with each other. It's a lot of fun. So anyways, that's all I got for today. I hope you guys are having a good week. All right, bye.